everyone, this is Rabbit's blog and welcome to another general discussion series. Today's general discussion is going to be on what's the difference between a remake, reboot, and reimagining from a video game, movie, TV shows, etc. What makes them different from each other? And the person who requested this video to me was the cartoon guy, and you can check out the link to his channel in the description box below. So, about this general discussion, what is the difference between a remake, a reboot, and a reimagining? This is what I think. I think with reboots and reimaginings, it's like you're completely changing the characters. Like, for example, I would consider the 2002 well, no, I would consider the 2011 version of Thundercats a reboot because they took liberties with the original storyline of Thundercats. Like, they actually expanded more on the backstory of Thundera, Lion-O and the others' time on Thundera, which wasn't really explored much in the original series, but they added a few things in there that were very different from the original series. And I would call that a reboot and a reimagining of the series because they practically changed a few things about the characters' backstories from the original. It's still faithful to the original series, but it's just a few things about the history have changed. And I think that's the big, that's what it is with reboots and reimaginings, that you're basically changing the scope of the character from the original source material to fit either a more modern day audience or if you feel like there's something in the backstory of the character that you don't like, you could just change it to make it better suited for the current audience or better suited for whoever you want to aim this film or TV series towards. As for remakes, I think it's like sort of like it's still the original series, except that you're basically putting in more for the modern day audience. Like, for example, I would say the 2002 He-Man series was like more like a remake of the original 1980 series, because you still have the same backstory of He-Man or Prince Adam and all the characters. This backstory is still pretty much the same, but the designs are much more different. Some of the characters' personalities are changed a bit, but it's still essentially the same show as the original 1980 series. So that's a remake. So I think a remake is like you take the original series, you still take the same ideas, same same backstories, whatever, from the original series, but you're just making the characters look newer. You tweak a few things about the history to make it relevant to the modern day audience, but it's still essentially the same show. It's just taking place in a different time zone or time frame, and I think that's the difference between a remake and a reboot and reimagining, is that with a remake, you're not really changing the original premise, but you're just remaking the characters. Like, you're changing the characters, you're changing the designs and whatever, but it's still essentially the same show. While a reboot or reimagining, you're basically changing the history of the backstories of the characters while still keeping some of the main aspects of the characters the same. Like, I would say the best examples for each is the Thundercats reboot is basically a reboot or a little reimagining of the original 1980 series, because they changed a bit about the history of Thundera and about the characters themselves, while the 2002 version of He-Man is more like a remake because it still has the same backstory. It's just the characters' designs are much different, and it seems to be more modernized than the original 1980 series. So tell me in the comments below, what are your thoughts about remakes, reboots, or reimaginings? Do you think they're all one and the same? Do you think there's a clear difference between all of them? And what shows do you think fit the mold for each of these? Please feel free to comment below, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter so I can keep you updated any new videos I post up, and also like my Facebook page, Rabbit's Blog's Best Comments. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. This is Rabbit's Blog, and I'll see you later.